Colombians woke up this Monday, August 11th, 2025, to the heartbreaking news. Senator Miguel Uribe Turbay had succumbed to his injuries. Exactly 2 months after a gunman opened fire at a campaign rally, the 39-year-old political figure passed away at 1:56 a.m. at Bogotá's Fundación Santa Fe Hospital. Authorities say he died from complications involving a hemorrhage in his central nervous system, following years of emergency surgeries and constant medical care. Bogotá's mayor has decreed 3 days of official mourning. City flags lowered, public ceremonies scaled down, and a period of reflection for the nation. In Antioquia and across Colombia, people are pausing to honor his life, his work, and the promise he represented. Miguel Uribe Turbay was more than a public servant. He was part of a lineage deeply woven into Colombia's modern history. Born on January 28, 1986 in Bogotá, he was the grandson of President Julio César Turbay Ayala, 1978-82, and the son of famed journalist Diana Turbay, whose kidnapping and death in 1991 during a flawed rescue effort shocked the nation. As a child raised without his mother, Miguel grew up feeling both the weight of loss and the responsibility of legacy. He went on to study at Universidad de los Andes, earning a master's, and later completed a mid-career master in public administration at Harvard Kennedy School in 2022. By age 25, in 2012, Miguel had been elected to Bogotá's City Council on the Liberal Party banner. He was an outspoken critic of then-Mayor Gustavo Petro, challenging his administration's waste management and social program approaches. Later, he transitioned into a leadership role within the city as Secretary of Government under Mayor Enrique Peñalosa from 2016 to 2018, overseeing administrative coordination during a turbulent time in the capital. In 2022, he earned a Senate seat under the Democratic Center Party and became one of President Petro's most vocal critics, especially on security and the peace strategy with armed groups. He argued, "Peace cannot be reached through impunity. Only a serious security policy will incentivize criminals to lay down their arms." June 7, 2025, a day that shattered Colombia's electoral calm. While campaigning in El Golfito Park, Modelia, Bogotá, Miguel Uribe Turbay was shot from behind by a teenage gunman. 2 bullets struck his head, another hit his leg. The attack stunned the country. He was rushed first to Engativa Medical Center, then transferred to Fundación Santa Fe, where neurosurgical teams operated to control brain hemorrhaging and swelling. His prognosis was described as extremely serious and guarded. Throughout June and July, he remained in intensive care, sedated on mechanical ventilation, undergoing repeated brain surgeries. At times, there were hopeful signs of improvement, but his condition stayed deeply fragile. In mid-June, an intracerebral hemorrhage prompted emergency surgery. Then again in early August, another hemorrhage left him in critical condition. Despite medical effort, his condition deteriorated. The attack's investigation unfolded fast. The shooter, a 14 or 15-year-old, was arrested at the scene. Authorities say he was allegedly paid for the act. Later, 5 people were implicated, including Elder Jose Artiega Hernandez, alias Chippy or Costino, believed to be the mastermind. The bullets came from a 9mm Glock-style pistol, legally acquired in Arizona in 2020. How that weapon entered Colombia is still under scrutiny. Motive remains unknown. His death has now been classified as magnicidio, linking it to an assassination of a presidential-level figure. Expressions of grief and outrage flooded across Colombia and beyond. President Gustavo Petro called Uribe's death a defeat for Colombia and for life. Vice President Francia Márquez condemned the violence, stating, "Democracy is not built with bullets or blood." International leaders like U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, UN officials, the Organization of American States, and former Colombian presidents also voiced their sorrow and demanded justice. The country's bishops added their voices in mourning. On the streets, memorials grew, flowers, candles, prayers. As his cousin actress Paula Turbay wrote, "Colombia weeps your loss. You brought people together beyond politics." Miguel's body was placed in a Camara Ardiente at Colombia's Congress, with colleagues, family, and former presidents paying tribute. According to reports, 2 of his children, his wife Maria Claudia Tarazona, and his father and sister were present as military honors were observed. A high-level delegation from the U.S., led by Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau, attended his funeral, a rare diplomatic gesture highlighting urgency in securing Colombia's democracy. Miguel Uribe's story encapsulates Colombia's struggle, from losing his mother to cartel violence, to using politics as a platform for reform, to facing violent death himself. His life, and his death, remind us how fragile democracy can be in the face of cruelty. He stood for stronger security, accountability, and a politics rooted in dialogue. His passing calls on us to reflect. How do we protect public servants? How do we ensure elections aren't overshadowed by fear? How do we build a future where disagreements are shaped by discourse, not bullets? Thank you for listening and for caring. Miguel Uribe Turbay's life, his legacy, and the violence that ended it are not just headlines. They're a call to action for every citizen who hopes for safer, more respectful governance.